him with CIA Director Mike Pompeo. So what does this change mean for that big U.S.-North Korea sit-down? Former Acting Director of Defense Intelligence Agency David Shedd joins us now. David, this proposed meeting could be one of course, historic proportions. We know Mike Pompeo is known as being tough with respect to defense and our relationships with our would-be enemies around the world. How does this change everything?
Good afternoon, Charles. I believe that Mike's selection as the nominee for Secretary of State is an excellent one. In the context of the North Korea talks, I think that Director Pompeo will hold the president's feet to the fire in terms of the ultimate goal, which is, of course, denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. And for that reason, I believe that the facts-driven Director Pompeo moving over to as Secretary of State will in fact hold a very hard line in terms of what the ultimate objectives are of these talks.
So we know that President Trump and Rex Tillerson didn't see eye to eye in North Korea, didn't see eye to eye on Jerusalem, and even the Iranian deal. The rest of the world has to know that as well. As they start to set up the parameters for this deal, for this potential meeting, how does it change the dynamics of that?
Well, I think that the level of trust that has been demonstrated between the president and his director of CIA is quite self-evident. He spends a good part of his week and every day at the White House briefing the president on a full spectrum of intelligence matters, and I believe that relationship has only become stronger over the last year. And for that matter, I think that seeing eye to eye on a number of these issues should not be mistaken for Director Pompeo, soon to be Secretary of State Pompeo, ability to actually tell the president what he thinks and where he thinks the president may be off track and where he in fact is on track.
David, we've got less than a minute, but how will this impact the Iranian situation? Can we expect ultimately for that deal to be pulled?
I think what will happen over the course of the next several months is that Secretary Pompeo in that new position will bring to bear, again, the pressure of our European allies and others to really hold that Iran nuclear deal to the fullest extent of what the agreement was all about. And in the absence of that, either a redo of that agreement or withdrawal outright.
Yeah, and of course, we'd like to see some accountability also. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. In the meantime, folks, I want to take you there, take a look.